Hey, yo, it's me, Pops Van Marmalade, and you're watching the Comics-Related Madness Network. So come get some.
Come get some. Yeah, that's how we do that. Welcome, everybody, to this Madness Special Edition with my friend, Mr. Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Doing good.
Yeah? Oh, big news, buddy. Big news. I knew it was coming. You know I knew it was coming a long time ago, but...
You probably knew before I did.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I kind of said, man, this is bound to happen. Back when Chuck first jumped in, I was like, oh, Mike's next. It was just, it was in the cards, man. And real glad it happened. Hello, Brittany. How you doing? So tell us, Mike, in your own words, how did it happen?
Well, first I was on Eric's show. And then he contacted me and he said, I'd like you to join the Rippaverse. And I threw out a few ideas. I didn't know that he wanted me to expand on one of his characters until he came out and said so, that he wanted me to write a graphic novel about Gooding.
Right.
The polymath. I call him a polymath because that's somebody who's skilled at many arcane arts, many different things. And if you look at that page in ISOM 2, which is an advertisement for Gooding services, you see that he provides technical services, medical services, firefighting services, all sorts of things, which is what a polymath does.
Right.
So I wrote his story. I started when he was in high school, and I followed him to show how he was forged by life and by his the schools he attended, and what happened after he graduated, where he joined a big tech firm, and what happened when he tried to leave and establish himself. And through it all, I gave him an arch enemy that began in high school, a guy named Hodge, who every time he passed Cato, because that's Gooding's first name, Cato Gooding, every time he passed Cato in the hall while they were changing classes, he'd punch Cato in the gut as hard as he could. And this was when Cato was like 15 or 16. So one day Cato had a revelation. He got hold of a bunch of thumbtacks, and he wore a bulky sweater, and he stuck those thumbtacks in his gut, point outward.
Mm-hmm.
And when Hodge punched him and they passed in the hall, Cato turned around to look and said, I will never forget the look on Ron's face, because it was like this.
I'm bleeding everywhere.
But then we follow Hodge's journey and how he got where he did, which is to become a monster with special powers. I don't like to use the term supervillain or superhero. I think that the world of ISOM is too realistic for terms like that. That of course it's science fiction to a degree. It takes place in the future,
right?
But it's its own world right now, and it's not silly. And I don't think it's going to descend into silliness.
Well, I don't either. I didn't think so as soon as I saw how serious he was about the talent he was hiring. Okay? You and Chuck don't write crap. Come on.
Well, I just turned in my 10th biker novel, and Chuck was kind enough to loan me Levon Cade.
Really?
So the 10th biker novel is a team up between Josh Pratt and Levon Cade.
Nice. Look, you guys don't know. Mike's up in the writing. It's not just a little bit here, a little comic there. He's all over. Dude's got his fingers in more pies.
It seems to me that all I do is sit around with my thumb up my ass, but somehow these things get written. They get written. I must write them at night. No, I do. I work at it every day. Sometimes it comes very freely and sometimes it doesn't. And right now I'm fighting with a bunch of narratives that I'm working on, but I'm excited about them because the roots are terrific.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Is it easier to write a character that you created, or is it easier to bring to life somebody else's creation?
They're about the same. And the reason I say that is because Gooding is just a walk-on character in the first 2 Isom novels. And it was up to me to put him together, to give him 3 dimensions. So he may as well have been my own character. Although, of course, he's Eric's character, and everything I create belongs to Eric. And that includes this bad guy that Hodge turns into is called Splatterpuss. And he's called Splatterpuss for a reason. And when you read the book, you'll understand. I got to shut this window. It's raining here. It's raining inside.
Oh.
Okay.
Colorado weather, brother.
Yeah.
All right. So for those of you who don't know or are not on board, I don't know if that 48-hour special's still going or not, but Eric made Isom #1, I think, available for $5 for a minute. Just for a minute, if you weren't on board. Yeah.
What do they say? Is it still going?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much time was left when I first started. But, it was on the webpage. It was just the pull-up code.
Yeah, let's just.
You saw all them goofy people that pulled up in front of his office acting crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a code he made for those guys called pull up.
Well, I'm looking at Eric's Twitter page right now. I'm cruising down. I don't know. The only way to find out is, of course, go to the Rippaverse page and see if you can order it.
Let's see. Let's go take a look and see if that's still up or not. I do not see it as being up right now. It might be over. Yep, it's over because it's not on the.
Well, I'm sure there will be another one, and there are a lot of books coming out from the Rippaverse now.
I think it was cover C that he was just offering cover C for $5. Right.
Yep.
What's up, Hex? You all know the Hexter. What's up?
Hey, Hex.
So, I think he's got what, Joe Bennett drawing for
Chuck.
Who's going to be drawing for you, Mike?
Well, let's see. Hang on a second. I have a guy that is doing the concept art. His name is Marcos Rios, and he's very good. Very good. Let me see if I can show you a little preview here. No, I think I accidentally erased that. But Marcos is on the job, and the first thing he sent me was his design for Splatterpuss. Wait a minute. Wait. Maybe I do have it here. Hang on. Nope.
Oh,
sorry.
Hi. Tell Ann I said hi. I see her behind you.
Pop says hi, Ann.
Are you still on your interview?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Wait.
Put it to the camera so I can.
What's
happening? Hey, Pops.
How you doing?
Hi.
Good to see you.
I can't hear because you're on the headset.
Says good to see you.
Okay, good seeing you. Hope you're well. Take care.
Hex, look, part of everything I do is involved with networking, promoting, and all that. Man, it's like I want everybody to know each other and get some great collaborations out of the people that meet in the madness. It's always been fun. Look, what? Oh, you gonna be on the Hex Rex and Apex show tomorrow, Mike?
Let me see.
One of those.
Hang on a second. Let me see. I guess I am. Yeah, I am. That's
All
right.
Cool. Make sure you share that in the madness, Hex. You know what's up.
Okay.
We got to keep that stuff networked out, man. Oh, on Stop and Shoot, he says you're on Stop and Shoot. All right, that's more you and Hedge, not the rest of the crew. But
Oh, all right.
Stop and Shoot. It's one of those 2A shows, you know, Mike. All about the Punish. No, I'm kidding. Stop or the Punisher will shoot. I'm just saying.
He doesn't say stop or I'll shoot.
Yeah, I know. I know. He doesn't say nothing. Oh, dude. Yeah, I'd like to be on Hex before the Roku campaign's over for sure. Doing pretty good on that, having a good time. We got like 10 new shows lined up, Mike. 10 new shows coming over to the network. We get this thing funded so far.
Great.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. Gonna talk Hex and bringing his show over to watch. So you hook up with Derek, you guys talk, you come to an agreement. What's it feel like to be working for a publishing house again?
Well, I guess it is a publishing house. It doesn't feel that different from anything that I do. To me, the thing is the creative process. I've been lucky in that my services are in demand, but I still work on projects for whom I don't have a publisher that grab my attention. I'm working on one now for some friends of mine that I'm very excited about, and I hope that it will become a film, but we'll see.
Look who's back there wagging his tail behind you, saying hi.
Is that Bob?
Yeah,
Bob.
You're getting photo bobbed.
Bob. The people love Bob.
Bob
Bob is a very popular dog. He's hell on squirrels. If you have a squirrel problem, call Bob.
There you go. And Bob always has his wise words of the day, too. You guys got to pay attention. Man, dude, it's always good talking to you. I know that you're on a time crunch, so I'm going to make sure we cover everything that you want to talk about. I don't want to be asking you questions that don't pertain to what you're promoting right now. So by all means, man, drop the words on us. You know.
Well, Bronze Star is at the printer, and we will be fulfilling beginning this month, just as we promised.
I did have a question about that one, actually. Is it still going to be available on the website?
Everything will be available on my website eventually. My website is baroncomics.com.
I mean, I don't want to, I want you to redo the end of that ad so it directs people to that address so I can keep playing your ad. Tell Chris, right?
Oh yeah. Okay. I'm not sure. You know, the page is up now. If you want to go to baroncomics.com, you'll see what it looks like. And I think you can sign up for the newsletter.
Right.
I don't know if it's fully functional. We just got it up, but very shortly will be functional. That means you can go there and you can order any of my crowdfunded books.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the next one we're going to launch, in a couple of weeks is Florida Man graphic novel #2. I'm really excited about it. It's because it's a lot better than the first one, and people love the first one. I'm very proud of it. But the second one, once I got over the freshman jitters, I think it's a much tighter story with a lot more punch and rewards in it, and also very funny.
Well, I mean, I loved the first one. I was a little bit disappointed about the thing that happened with the artist and my son and I not being able to be drawn in outside the wrestling ring. We were both really looking forward to that. But the book itself, the story's hilarious, you guys. You got to love what when Mike's being sci-fi, it's sci-fi. When Mike's being funny, it's funny. Whatever Mike's writing, it is what it's supposed to be, guys. It's not like he's trying to do something else. It's all good. It's like good.
Monsieur is too kind.
Monsieur is Red Nexus. Monsieur is Red Punisher. The Florida Man, I've read you at different genre stages, right? I haven't read the biker from the bikers yet, though. I got to get in on some of that. Buddy McGirt, you get all when you're being funny, you're funny. Whatever it is you're trying to do, you're damn good at it. Okay.
Well, thank you. Speaking of Nexus, following Florida Man, we go straight into the Kelsey Shannon Nexus. And I think the first one's going to be Scourge, which is done. It's complete. It's ready. And it's going to blow your mind. I'm very excited about this. It's a great story. And Kelsey just threw his heart into it. And if you've seen that, the very few people who got that first issue of the story from Richard Meyer, he initially commissioned me to do a 3-issue series on Nexus, 22 pages each. And Kelsey and I finished the first one, and he published it. And he sent me a bunch of copies, and he fulfilled to the people who subscribed. But then Richard said, listen, Mike, you're doing better with your crowdfunding than I'm doing with mine, so I'm going to turn the rest of this over to you. And so Kelsey is halfway through that, and that's triplets, by the way. It's not Scourge. Yeah, Scourge is done. And Scourge will probably come out before triplets, and it'll come out with a bunch of extras, too.
Well, I have triplets, right?
You may have the first issue.
Yeah, first issue of it. Yeah. Okay. So just making sure I'm in line. I don't have to go backwards. It's always good to be in at the beginning, guys. It sucks when you got to go buy 6 comics to get caught up. Bob
is upset.
Why?
Bob is upset because we're having a little heavy weather. Come here, Bob.
He don't like the Thunders?
No. So he should be wearing his Thunder shirt.
I was hanging out with my son's brother a couple weekends ago, or with his dogs. I went over dog sitting for the weekend, and we had a thunderstorm, and I didn't know Blaze was scared of the thunder. And that dog was right up underneath me, man. You know what I mean? I was in the chair doing the show, and all of a sudden I had Pitbull all the way crawling up under my legs trying to get in the chair. It was like, Blaze does not like thunder. It was pretty funny, but at the same time, I never knew Blaze was scared of anything. He's such a badass. But
we got Bob a Thunder shirt, which you can get at most pet stores, and it wraps tightly around his torso, and it reduces anxiety.
Right. It's like a hug. It's like a big hug. Yeah. And I learned that about dogs not too terribly long ago, that the reason they come and lean up into you like they do is that's their way of giving you a hug. They can't wrap their arms around you. When they
can lick.
Well, yeah, that's a kiss, though. That's different. Talking about hugs. So, just to be straight now, are you still working on the weaponized werewolf and that stuff?
Well, I've written a second issue of Smokes, and it blew through its crowdfunding goals. So that should be shipping soon.
All right. Just everything and anything, Mike. Get it all out, bro. Get it all out. It's like you have so much stuff. Always, every time I talk to you, you've got so much stuff. Either new stuff that you're doing, or stuff that you wasn't able to tell me about last time we talked. You know what I mean? And then when we talk again, it's like, oh, there's this and this and this.
I try to keep busy, and I tell every aspiring writer not to work on just one thing, but to have several projects going at once, so that if you run into a brick wall, you switch over to something else, which hopefully is an entirely different genre or feeling or mood, so you can make progress on that one.
And so all this comes out just mainly, though, from networking, correct? From getting out there, talking to people, getting seen, making yourself available, right? This is how all these different collaborations come about.
Well, I think that a lot of it is based on the body of work I've already produced.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not
fortunate to have done that, and that's why they come to me, because
away from that. I mean, but I'm saying you put yourself out there where people can find you and you are accessible.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
and-
makes a huge difference, you know? I mean,
If you want to follow me on Facebook, go to the Comics and Novels of Mike Baron. I'm at Bloody Red Baron on Twitter, and I have a Substack column, Mike Baron. And now I've got baroncomics.com.
and the Baron Earls Show. And what's the name of the writing of Mike Baron? Is that the name of the
Well, I have a
other show?
YouTube channel, which is Mike Baron YouTube. And most of it is about writing advice for people who want to write, you know, and my insights are my own. I developed them out of my own experience over the years. But I love talking about writing. And one of the reasons is that I've been writing so long that I have codified certain rules for myself and for others. But that's because I try to write in a certain style. I try to make myself invisible. I don't want the reader to be aware of an authorial voice,
Right.
as they are when they read somebody like James Elroy or Ernest Hemingway. In fact, but I have to say that Hemingway also figures prominently in my philosophy of writing, and that he said that you just put the words out there that plainly, most accurately and plainly describe what's going on. And because he did that so well, that's one of the reasons that he's remembered to this day as a great writer. But there are other writers who go in the opposite direction, who have a narrative voice that's so seductive that you fall in love with the language.
Right.
Who wrote The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay? Michael Chabon. He's got a book out called Telegraph Avenue. And in it, there's a chapter about a parrot that escapes from its cage. The chapter is 5,000 words long, and it's all one sentence. And you never lose interest. If you read Michael Chabon, you're going to learn a lot of new words.
Wow.
And
really one sentence?
Yes.
5,000 words? Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of commas and pauses, though, right? To catch your
Yes,
breath.
there is true, but his use of the language is so elegant. It's fun, you know. I mean, you can dive into a book that's awful. It's just awful and kills your desire to write. In fact, I have that book right here. It's called Writing and Rewriting, and this is guaranteed to kill any budding writer in the egg. And I'll just read a little bit at random here. Exact diction. The primary purpose of writing is communication. Therefore, it is important for the writer to use words which will express exactly what he wishes to convey. For each idea, there's a word or phrase which expresses more exactly than all the others the writer's meaning. It is the task, the obligation of the writer to find this word or phrase and use it. Exactness in diction requires the writer to think clearly and carefully. Sometimes the first word which comes to mind is the most exact which could be used. More often it is not. Well, you know, that's actually, it's useful advice, I have to say, but I've gone through the book several times, and it doesn't set my heart on fire. You know, there are 1,000 books on writing out there, but in my mind, there's only one essential book. It's called The Elements of Style by Strunk and White. And it appeared first in the 40s, and it's still the best. It's very short. You can read it in an hour. It's very witty. And I've read a lot of books on writing, and many of them are very good. I like Stephen King's book on writing. John Brain, who wrote a Room at the Top, wrote a book called Writing Your Novel. He's a great English novelist. And in it, he says nobody should attempt to write a novel before they're 40 years old because they don't have the life experience to convince the reader that they can represent every point of view. And that's another very important lesson, that it's the writer's job to imagine every point of view. And those who would set down barriers to what you are allowed to write are anti-intellectual, and you should ignore them. As the question comes, should Shakespeare have been allowed to write Othello? Well, that's an absurd question. the results speak for itself. And that doesn't mean there are a lot of bad writers out there trying to imagine points of view and they can't do it. But usually those writers don't last.
Right. I like the way you put that, life experience, because I try to make sure that when I'm talking to people and that they understand that I've been here for 60 years. Got a little bit of life experience. I'm not talking from something out of the blue that I might think I know about. I probably lived through some of that. You know what I mean? It's like I look at the Far East and the way they venerate their older generation. Okay, they're the wise men. They're the people that give us the wisdom to move forward, right? The Western civilization doesn't really venerate their elders the way that they do in the Far East.
Well, to a certain degree we do, but now everything is collapsing.
Everything's kind of throwaway, though. I've noticed that, man. I mean, you know, dude, I've watched a lot of my friends ignored their parents as their parents got older, you know, and stuff like that. We didn't look at it that way. I mean, you know, we weren't brought up that way. We were brought up to you know, respect our elders and to venerate them and to cherish the wisdom that they drop down to us. You know, that's why I like talking to people like you. I know you've been here. You've been here for a long time doing this thing that I've only been part of for a few years as a promoter. I glean more education from you about the industry, the state of the industry, the state of writing. One of the things I noticed earlier, you said plainly and accurately and totally avoided that one word.
What word?
You know the word I'm talking about. Literally.
Oh, don't say it. That's $10 you owe me, Pops.
Plainly and accurately. He wouldn't even use the word because he hates the word.
It never occurred to me. It doesn't occur to me to ever use that word. The only time it occurs to me is when I see people throwing it into every sentence they write because it makes them think they sound important.
I always point them out to Twitter that there's that word again, Mike.
Yeah, a couple others are basically.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
and if anybody watched Judge Judy, she'll ask a defendant what's going on, and the defendant will say, basically. Judy jumps right in. She says, no, basically.
Yeah, I want to know the truth. Not not a supposition.
Because it's just a filler word, you know. It doesn't mean anything.
It's funny. That's like an inside joke between me and Mike on Twitter. Every time we see the word literally, it's like I'll point it out to him. There's that word again. He'll be like, "What word, Pops?"
Oh, and another one is decimate.
Oh. Now see, that one I never understood because
Well, it means to reduce by 1/10. End of story. Because it was created by the Romans when a legion humiliated itself. The Romans would reduce that legion by 1/10, and that means they pull out every 10th legionnaire and kill him. And that's what decimate means. It means to reduce by 1/10. But people listen to it and they say, oh man, that sounds really good. Like if you really want to destroy someone, you decimate someone. Well, you could decimate someone by having them lose 10% of their body weight, and they might do it voluntarily. You know, so it's just people don't look these words up. They think they know what they mean, but they don't.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That one never made sense to me because deca is 10.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and it's like it never made sense to me. How does 10 turn into destruction? Or I couldn't find the connection between that word and the way people use the word.
No.
You see what I'm saying? I couldn't find that. I couldn't find the connection. So that one never made sense to me. But I ain't no brainiac or no writer. I just the common sense kind of guy. You know,
Sure.
I mean, really, I mean, just I try to use my common sense. Mike is a thinking man's writer, though. I'm going to go out here and say this again because I say it all the time. He's the kind of guy that's going to make you go back 3 pages and read that over.
Well, I hope not, but I mean, I do. Well, there's Chekhov's rules.
You hope so, because you want people to go back and read it over. Because
not necessarily. I'm not trying to make extra work for them, but I mean, you have to learn to put the stuff in that you're going to use later. That's what Chekhov's law is. Chekhov said, if you hang a revolver on the wall in the first act, you have to take it down and use it by the third.
Right. And I, I'm just saying, it's like, I'll catch you because you layer meanings and stuff. Okay. You do. You are a thinking man's writer, whether you want to take the mantle on or not. Because I consider myself a thinking man. And sometimes I got to go back and read that over again and make sure I got everything you were trying to say. You see what I'm saying? It's like, because I know you. You're going to hide something in there somewhere. Something I'm going to find later and go, oh, that's what that was. You know what I mean? So
not trying to.
But you do it. It's to me, it's entertainment. Hey, if you aren't making me think enough to go back and reread that and make sure that connects to this, you know what I mean? It's like I want that. It's just like in a comic book. I want those Easter eggs that make me stick to a panel for a minute. I don't want to read your comic in 10 minutes and forget about it. I want to read it and there'd be so much stuff, so much content, so many reasons to go back and look at it again that it becomes an old worn out comic book like a lot of these around the room.
That's why you should buy 2.
Well, you know what I'm saying. They don't get to read. They don't get to looking like a reader unless they got read. Watch. So Mike, we about done a half an hour. I want to congratulate you on everything you got going forward with the Rippaverse. Eric, good pull, dude. I told you. It's the way it was supposed to be, man. You know what I mean?
Thanks, Pops.
I'm totally looking forward to what Chuck does over there, to what you do over there. And dude, Godspeed, man.
You should get Chuck on your show.
Oh, Chuck's on it. Chuck was on Tuesday Morning Brew a couple weeks ago.
All right.
He comes round. He was on Romo Art. He was on Romo's show a couple weeks ago. Chuck comes round, and his show, as well as your show, are part of the network. So we get lots of Chuck around here. We get lots of Mike, lots of Chuck. It's good.
Groovy, baby.
You know what's up. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Catch this on the replay. Make sure you go over there. Give Eric July some love. Tell him good pull, good call. Getting Mike Barron. And good night, everybody. Have a great night.
We'll see you, Pops. Thanks for having me on.
You bet, Mike. You have a great night, brother. Now I'm going to play a bunch of ads because I didn't play none at the beginning. So guess what? We got some good stuff for you. Some of you might not have seen this yet. Check this out.
I wish I could find a way to better advertise Apothic Press.
Just back it already.
Whoa, Crom, what are you doing here? What's this? The Madness Roku Network. Sponsorship. 1 month of playing your 30-second ad on the network 3 times a day? Oh my gosh, for $20? And you can't beat that.
Just back it already.
All right, Crom, I'm doing it. Awesome. Hi, I'm Tanner Hurley, founder of Apothic Press. I back the Madness Roku Network, and so should you.
What is Path of the Pale Rider anyway? Is it a comic book? No, that's not it. Is it this? heck is Path of the Pale Rider, man? There's no way this is right. How about this? I have no idea.
We're gonna rob a bank.
Oh, it's this.
Fairview's coffee has mysteriously gone missing. Mayhem ensues when strange, coffee-craving zombies plague the city. Detective Mickey Potatoes, an overworked public servant, uncovers why ordinary citizens are losing their minds and how to stop the coffee apocalypse. But it involves the mafia. And when you're dealing with mafia crime families, nothing is ever easy. The mafia controls everything in the city, including the police, including him. If he breaks the mafia, they will break him. So, the city is without coffee. The city is burning before his very eyes, but he's powerless. Detective Potatoes has the power to stop the coffee apocalypse, but if he does, he could lose everything.
Madness Entertainment Group presents the Madness Comic Network, with original programming and additional comic-related content.
Comic Books for Kids provides comic books to kids in hospitals and cancer centers across the U.S. It's a place where we can all work together to make sure every child has a comic book. 100% of all proceeds go towards the kids. It's about making a difference, and while they're in the hospital, allowing them to fly like a superhero, battle dragons, or rescue teddy bears. We are in every state in the country and now support over 160 hospitals. Every month, we add more.
Visit cb4k.org.